What if I told you that your hybrid car is quietly dying right now, and you have absolutely no idea? Not from an accident, not from bad driving, but from something so simple, so easy to fix, that most mechanics won't even tell you about it. Because if they did, you'd never come back to them. Millions of hybrid owners around the world are making the same three mistakes every single day, slowly destroying an engine that was designed to last 300,000 miles or more. I've spent over 14 years working on hybrid vehicles. I've seen engines that look brand new on the outside, completely gone on the inside. And I've seen rough, high-mileage engines come back to life after doing exactly what I'm about to show you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to do to make your hybrid engine run like it just rolled off the factory floor. Segment 1, the truth about hybrid engines, what nobody tells you. What do you actually know about how your hybrid engine works? Most people say it uses both gas and electricity. And yes, that's true. But here's what nobody explains to you when you drive off that dealership lot. A hybrid engine is not just a regular engine with a battery bolted on. It is a completely different ecosystem. It has two separate power systems running simultaneously: an internal combustion engine, or ICE, and an electric motor drive system. And these two systems must cooperate perfectly at all times, or the entire vehicle begins to degrade. In a traditional gas engine, most of the wear and tear happens gradually. You feel it, you hear it, your mechanic sees it. But in a hybrid engine, damage is often invisible. It happens at the software level, at the battery management level, at the cooling system level. By the time your warning light comes on, significant damage may have already occurred. This is exactly why hybrid maintenance is different. This is why the same tricks that work on a regular gas car won't work here. And this is why I'm making this video. Let's go through the 5 things that will make the biggest difference in your hybrid engine's performance and longevity. Segment 2, the hybrid coolant system, the most ignored component. Your hybrid has 2 separate cooling systems, one for the engine, one for the inverter and the electric motor system. When you take your hybrid to most general service centers, what do they check? The engine coolant. That's it. The inverter coolant, often completely ignored. And here's why that's catastrophic. The inverter converts DC power from the battery into AC power for the electric motor. It runs hot, very hot, and it relies on its own dedicated cooling loop to stay alive. When that coolant degrades, and it will degrade typically every 30,000 to 50,000 miles depending on your vehicle, the inverter starts overheating. An overheating inverter doesn't just slow you down. It can destroy your entire hybrid drive system in a single trip. I've seen inverter replacements cost owners anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000, all because of coolant that costs $15 to flush. What you need to do: first, locate your inverter coolant reservoir. In most Toyota and Lexus hybrids, it's a small, semi-transparent reservoir, usually near the back of the engine bay, separate from your main engine coolant. In Honda hybrids and others, its location varies. Check your owner's manual. Second, check the fluid color and level. Fresh hybrid inverter coolant should be a clear, slightly blue-tinted fluid. If it's brownish, murky, or has particles in it, it needs to be flushed immediately. Third, at every 30,000-mile service, specifically request an inverter coolant flush. Don't just ask for a coolant flush. Be specific. Say, "I need the inverter cooling system flushed," or they will assume you mean only the engine. This one step alone has saved some of my clients thousands of dollars in repairs. Don't skip it. Segment 3, hybrid battery conditioning, the secret to full power. Now let's talk about your hybrid battery, not the 12-volt battery under the hood. I mean the high-voltage traction battery, the one that actually powers your electric drive system. Here's the truth that the industry doesn't advertise. Your hybrid battery doesn't fail all at once. It fails one cell at a time. A typical hybrid battery pack contains anywhere from 28 to 240 individual cells, depending on the vehicle. These cells are wired in series, and when even one of those cells becomes weaker than the others, the entire battery's performance drops dramatically. The car's computer limits power output to protect that weak cell, and suddenly, your hybrid feels sluggish, your fuel economy tanks, and eventually, that dreaded warning light appears. So what do you do? The answer is a process called battery cell balancing and conditioning. And here's what it means in practical terms. Step 1. Never let your hybrid battery stay at full charge or full discharge for extended periods. The sweet spot for hybrid NIMH batteries is between 40% and 80% state of charge. For lithium-based hybrids, keep it between 20% and 90%. Your car manages this automatically, but extreme conditions like extreme heat or cold can push it out of that range. In hot climates especially, park in shade whenever possible. Step 2. Exercise your battery. Hybrids that sit unused for weeks develop what engineers call voltage depression, cells that stop taking or holding a charge efficiently. If you use your hybrid infrequently, take it for a 20 to 30-minute highway drive at least once a week to allow full charge and discharge cycles. Step 3. For vehicles with 80,000 miles or more, have a qualified hybrid technician perform a battery load test and, if necessary, a cell rebalancing procedure. In many cases, this can restore 70 to 85% of original battery performance and extend the life of the pack by 50,000 to 100,000 additional miles. And here's the part no one tells you. A new replacement hybrid battery can cost $2,000 to $5,000. A conditioning service, often under $300. That math speaks for itself. Segment 4. Oil change secrets for hybrid engines, completely different rules. If you're changing your hybrid's oil the same way you change the oil in any regular gas car, you're doing it wrong, and it's hurting your engine. Here's why. A hybrid engine shuts off frequently. Every time you brake, every time you coast, every time you sit at a red light. This is by design. It's what makes hybrids fuel efficient. But here's the consequence that matters. Every time that engine restarts, it restarts cold. Even if the car has only been sitting for 45 seconds. Cold starts cause the most engine wear. The oil hasn't fully circulated back to all components. The metal surfaces are momentarily running with reduced lubrication. In a normal car, this happens maybe once or twice a day. In a hybrid, it happens dozens of times every single trip. So what do you need to do differently? Number 1, use the right oil viscosity. Most hybrid manufacturers specify 0W20 or 0W16 synthetic oil. These ultra-low viscosity oils are specifically formulated to circulate instantly at startup, even at cold temperatures. If your mechanic is using 5W30 because that's what they have in stock, stop them. It's the wrong oil for your engine. Number 2, change your oil more frequently than the gauge says. Hybrid vehicles use an oil life monitoring system. Many of these systems were calibrated for normal driving. But the frequent stop-start cycling in hybrids degrades oil faster than the sensor accounts for. Most hybrid mechanics recommend changing oil every 5,000 miles regardless of what the monitor says, especially if you do a lot of city driving. Number 3, after every oil change, do what's called a warm-up cycle. Drive the car for at least 15 minutes at highway speeds to allow the new oil to fully distribute through all engine components and reach optimal operating temperature. Don't do short trips immediately after an oil change. One more thing, and this is critical, always use a genuine or OEM equivalent oil filter. Cheap aftermarket filters have lower flow rates and bypass valves that open too late. In a hybrid with frequent cold starts, this can mean a fraction of a second of oil starvation during each restart. Over 100,000 cold starts, that adds up. Segment 5. The regenerative braking system, your engine's hidden power source. Here's something most hybrid owners completely misunderstand about their own vehicle. Your brakes are not just stopping your car, they are charging your battery. Regenerative braking is one of the most brilliant engineering feats in modern automotive design. When you lift your foot off the accelerator or apply the brakes, the electric motor runs in reverse, acting as a generator, converting kinetic energy back into electrical energy and feeding it into the battery. In optimal conditions, this can recover 10 to 25% of the energy you'd otherwise lose as heat. But here's what nobody tells you. If your regenerative braking system is degraded, you are losing free energy every single trip, and you're wearing out your friction brakes faster than necessary. Signs your regenerative braking system needs attention. Your brake pedal feels different, either too soft or a strange pulsing feel in the first few inches of travel. Your fuel economy has dropped noticeably, but your engine seems fine. The energy recovery display on your dashboard shows less regeneration than it used to. Your brake pads are wearing out much faster than expected. How to maximize your regen system. First, brake gently and progressively. Aggressive, sudden braking forces the system to use friction brakes because the electric motor can't absorb energy fast enough. Light, gradual braking maximizes regen recovery. Second, use your vehicle's B mode or engine braking mode when descending hills. This maximizes regenerative braking rather than using friction brakes to control speed. Third, have your brake actuator system inspected at every 60,000-mile service. The brake actuator is the computer-controlled unit that blends regenerative and friction braking. When it malfunctions, regen efficiency drops to zero, and your friction brakes take the full load. Replacement costs $800 to $2,000, but a diagnostic inspection is typically under $100. Segment 6. Software and ECU calibration, the engine tune-up nobody talks about. This last one is the most overlooked, and in many cases, it's the single biggest factor between a hybrid that runs great and one that constantly feels just off. Your hybrid engine is not just mechanical, it's computational. Every modern hybrid vehicle is controlled by a network of electronic control units, ECUs, running millions of lines of software code. These systems control fuel injection timing, electric motor torque distribution, battery charge thresholds, cooling system activation, regenerative braking intensity, and dozens of other parameters. And here's the critical issue. Manufacturers release software updates for hybrid ECUs on a regular basis. Some of these updates improve fuel efficiency. Some fix known bugs that cause premature component wear. Some recalibrate battery management to extend pack life. And most hybrid owners never receive these updates because they never think to ask. I've personally seen vehicles where an ECU software update alone resolved an issue the owner had been chasing for 2 years. Reduced acceleration, poor fuel economy, intermittent warning lights, all fixed with a software flash that took 20 minutes and cost nothing under warranty. What you need to do: go to your manufacturer's dealership, not a general service center, and specifically ask, are there any pending ECU or software updates for my hybrid vehicle? Provide your VIN number. They can check against the current software revision for your specific vehicle. If your vehicle is out of warranty, some updates are still available free of charge as they're related to safety or emissions compliance. Others may have a small diagnostic fee, but the performance improvement is almost always worth it. Additionally, at least once a year, have a full hybrid system scan performed using OEM-level diagnostic equipment. Not the generic OBD2 reader at the auto parts store. A real manufacturer-specific scanner that reads all hybrid-specific fault codes, not just generic powertrain codes. This can catch issues months before they become expensive failures. Segment 7. The daily habits that make or break your hybrid. Before I wrap up, I want to slow things down and focus on something extremely important. Everything we've discussed so far becomes even more powerful when you apply it consistently. That consistency comes down to daily habits, not complicated repairs, not expensive tools, just simple behavior changes that compound over time. Here are 3 daily habits that can truly make or break your hybrid system. Habit 1. Smooth acceleration. Hybrid engines are at their best and under the least stress when they transition smoothly between electric and gas power. The system is designed to intelligently switch between modes based on demand. When you accelerate gently, the vehicle can operate efficiently and balance power between the battery and the engine in a controlled way. However, aggressive acceleration changes everything. When you press the pedal hard, the system is forced to demand maximum output from both the engine and the electric motor at the same time. That means higher load, higher stress, and higher internal strain. Over time, repeated hard acceleration increases wear on critical components and reduces overall system efficiency. This doesn't mean you can never accelerate quickly. It simply means that daily driving should focus on gradual and controlled acceleration, especially when starting from a complete stop. Smooth pedal input allows the system to work as designed, instead of constantly operating under pressure. The long-term benefit is significant. You can improve fuel economy by 10 to 15% just by driving more smoothly. Even more importantly, you reduce unnecessary strain on both the engine and battery systems. That means fewer stress cycles, better efficiency, and longer component life. This one habit alone can dramatically improve long-term reliability. Habit 2. Climate control management. Climate control plays a bigger role in hybrid performance than most drivers realize. In many hybrid systems, the air conditioning compressor is powered directly by the engine rather than the electric motor. That means when the AC runs at maximum, it increases engine load. If you are also demanding electric assistance while running full AC, the system is working harder overall. In hot weather, this combination can place additional stress on the hybrid system. Over time, frequent maximum load conditions can contribute to unnecessary strain. The key is smarter climate usage. In very hot conditions, if you own a plug-in hybrid, pre-cool the cabin while the vehicle is plugged in. This allows the energy to come from the charging source rather than the battery during driving. During regular operation, use the Eco or Auto climate settings instead of manual maximum cooling. These modes are designed to balance comfort and efficiency. They automatically regulate compressor load and reduce unnecessary strain. Small adjustments in climate control habits may seem minor, but over months and years they reduce workload on the system and contribute to smoother overall operation. It's about intelligent usage rather than maximum settings all the time. Habit 3. Garage parking. In extreme weather, hybrid batteries are sensitive to temperature changes. Extreme environmental conditions directly impact battery performance and longevity. In very cold weather, battery capacity can decrease significantly, sometimes by 20 to 40%. This reduces available electric power and forces the engine to compensate more often. Cold conditions can also increase internal resistance inside the battery cells. On the other hand, extreme heat accelerates battery cell degradation. High temperatures increase chemical activity inside the battery, which speeds up wear over time. Repeated exposure to excessive heat can shorten battery lifespan. If you live in a region with very hot summers or very cold winters, parking your hybrid in a garage is not just about comfort, it becomes a maintenance strategy. A controlled temperature environment helps stabilize battery conditions and reduce long-term stress. Even partial protection, such as shaded parking, can help reduce exposure. The goal is simple: minimize extreme temperature fluctuations whenever possible. This can add years to your hybrid battery's life and preserve consistent performance. Now I need to say something clearly. Everything I've just explained isn't complicated. It isn't advanced engineering. These are straightforward habits that directly influence how your hybrid performs day to day. In many cases, these same procedures are recommended during professional service visits, visits that can cost hundreds of dollars each time. The important part is that when you understand these habits, you gain control. You can apply them yourself. You can monitor your own driving behavior. You can make informed decisions instead of guessing. And here's something that truly matters. The number one reason hybrid systems fail prematurely is not bad engineering. It isn't random failure, it's preventable neglect. Most issues develop gradually through repeated stress and lack of awareness. Without proper information, drivers unintentionally shorten the lifespan of their own vehicles. A well-maintained hybrid system can last extremely long distances with reasonable repair costs. There are vehicles that continue running strong well past 200,000 miles because their owners understood how to care for them properly. Not because they were lucky, because they followed the right habits consistently. You are now aware of those habits, and awareness changes everything. When you combine smooth acceleration, smart climate management, and temperature-conscious parking, you dramatically increase the chances that your hybrid will perform reliably for years to come. These small daily decisions compound over time, And that is what truly makes the difference. Let me give you a quick recap of everything we covered today. 1. Flush your inverter coolant every 30,000 miles, separately from your engine coolant. 2. Condition and balance your hybrid battery cells. Don't wait for the warning light. 3. Use the correct low-viscosity synthetic oil and change it every 5,000 miles if you're a city driver. 4. Protect and maximize your regenerative braking system through smart braking habits and regular actuator inspections. 5. Ask your dealer for ECU software updates and get a full hybrid system scan at least once a year. That's it. 5 steps. 5 things between you and a hybrid that runs like it just came off the production line, no matter how many miles are on the clock. If this helped you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this kind of content reach more people who need it. If you have a specific hybrid vehicle question, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one and I answer as many as I can. And if you want to go deeper, I've put together a free hybrid maintenance checklist that covers everything we talked about today, plus a full service schedule by mileage.